Hello, everyone. My name is John Wilson. In my chosen profession, a number of people know me on the internet, particularly as Doc Franchise, and that's my background. That's what I do. I work with franchise companies and I work with individuals in helping them to understand the franchising business. On the franchise company side of this, I work to help franchise companies improve their operations and their franchise and their sales development business, as well as their marketing, and sort of understanding how technology can help them and provide them with a better platform, a more secure platform, better information. I want to talk a moment, though, to people who have been considering franchising. You maybe your situation is you're out of work. Now it's the second time or the third time. You worked the very first portion of your life for 15 or 20 years for somebody. You gave them your time, your effort, your sweat, your blood, your tears, your very best efforts, and you found yourself out of a job through no fault of your own. It happened a second time. Probably the second time you only were with that company a year or two or three or five. And the third time it was probably even less. Well, life has a funny way of manipulating circumstances. And the reason why people hire today, why companies engage employees, is very different than it once was. And it's made for a less stable environment, a less stable work environment. And I think that's probably more true in corporate America today than it's ever been before. Um, I'm often asked to speak to groups. I do it a lot. Chamber of Commerce, franchise consulting groups. I've spoken at colleges and universities about the whole subject of franchising, what it has to offer, what it involves, and there are some folks that typically in a crowd, especially a general audience crowd, will ask me, John, are there any hard and fast rules of doing a proper examination or investigation of a franchise that you would recommend? Is there something about the brand or the marketing or whatever? And the answer that I typically give people is this. It's mostly yes. Um, the more you actually know about a franchise or about franchising, let's start with that, the more confident you're going to be once it's time for you to make a decision. But there are dangers as well. And often we study so much, the line becomes blurred between what is factual and what is actual, and what is someone's overly blustered and inaccurately stated opinion or random thoughts about a franchise or about franchising. I originally was going to say, here are five do's, and then I was going to do a second lesson on here are five don'ts. But quite honestly, I'm going to do a series, and this is just do number one. And I'm going to do a number of these, and hopefully these snippets will be helpful to you. I hope you follow along with them. Here's the very first one that I always tell people. Number one, investigate franchise opportunities by getting first-hand information. And by that I mean visit the franchise company's website. By that I mean consult with a franchise consultant. You're going to find them to be incredibly helpful to you. These are typically individuals that have worked in the franchise industry for a number of years, decades, and many of them, like me, have been around for 20, 25, 30 years, where we have been franchisees, we've been executives at franchises, we've been consultants in the franchise industry. Consult with these people when you have questions, first of all, generally about franchising, but secondly, about a specific franchise. Don't go just out to the internet, put the name of the franchise up there, and begin just reading anything and everything that is said about the franchise. You know, one of the things that people aren't bright enough to realize today is that once you've put something out there about a topic, it's there on the internet forever. And many times, a franchisee who was happy and excited last week is upset with his franchise this week. And this week, he's ticked off at them, and he's going to tell the world about it. Well, let me give you a piece of advice. Going to upsetfranchisee.com or myfranchisecompanyrippmeoff.net or bluemaumau.org, which, by the way, is an actual website, isn't the place to start to discover whether a franchise is right for you. What you want to find out is whether what you have learned who you are, your skill set, your passions, and kind of what you expect out of a franchise, what it needs to be able to do for you in the relationship, those are the things you need to start with. You need to understand those things deeply. And you need to be smarter than all of the information when it's all heaped on you. When it's all heaped on you, there's good and there's bad, and you don't know which one is right or wrong. You know what the truth is? The truth is that it's all probably has some level of accuracy. Franchise companies screw up. Franchisees really screw up. I can tell you, I was one. And we can be our own worst enemies. Not the franchise location, not the system the franchise is in, not their marketing strategy, us, the franchisee. But try to get a franchisee to admit that is a very difficult thing. So do yourself a favor. When you first investigate a franchise, number one, go to the place where the information will give you the foundation. What does the franchise company look for when they look for a franchisee? That is a crucial element for you to understand. And this is another one that goes right along with it. And then I'm going to quit. And that is this. You need to remember, a franchise purchase is not a purchase at all. It's a relationship between you and the franchise company. And you are mutually investigating each other. They are looking to find out if you're a good fit, and you're trying to understand whether or not this franchise is the right franchise for you. Start with that information. Start with good foundational information. First-hand information about the franchise company, what they're looking for, what they're really about, and then begin your investigation from there to understand more about whether or not the franchise company you're looking at is for you or franchising for you is for you. Hey, I'm John Wilson. You can find more information about me and what I think at Doc Franchise, D-O-C Franchise, all smushed together, .blogspot.com. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you next time.